Hi, and welcome to the Feet of Jesus, where we are going through the entire Bible, one book at a time. And we are right now and have been in the book of Luke, and we are using this workbook. So, if you have this workbook, awesome. It makes the study richer. It helps give you direction with the verses we're looking at. If you would like it, it's $9.95, and the link is going to be in the description of this video. If you don't want to have to bother with it, don't worry about it. Just keep watching these videos. We love having you with us. So we have been working on Luke 10 this week. Next week, we will be working on Luke 11. That'll be the homework. So every time we film one of these, we try to film it in a new location, and this week it was simple because we are out of town. We are not in Albuquerque. So I thought we would kind of have a little bit of fun this week and have three clues as to where we are. So the first clue is the background, where we're, and the city and what you're looking at. So if you have an idea, put clue 1 in the comments and your guess. Okay. Clue number 2 is that we are in the same state that my daughter lives in, but we are not in the same city that my daughter lives in. That's clue number 2. So you know it's not Dallas. Clue number 3 is behind the cameraman. So I'm going to move this way, and that way you can see. Ta-da! So that is the Capitol building for the great state of Texas. So that's clue number 3. You guessed it, Austin. We're in the great city of Austin, Texas, and we are here for work for my husband. And so a couple shout outs this week. My first shout out is to the people who commented this week. People, 2, it's so exciting. So 1 is a friend named John, who is a friend of mine from high school. And he commented that he is a son of the king, which is awesome. And then another friend of mine, Jen, she commented, and we talked about a couple things. Please don't be afraid to comment anything. I usually give you several things to comment. I will always comment back to you. You have no idea how excited I get when I see a comment. There's a little red button that happens on my YouTube channel, and then I know someone has commented, and I get so excited. So one other shout out, it's to my cameraman. And so that is not my son, that is my husband. Of course, my husband is here because we're here for him. So we are going to get into the study, and we're going to start in Luke 10:24. So it says, "For I tell you that many prophets and kings wanted to see the things that you see, but didn't see them, to hear the things that you hear, but didn't hear them." Folks, sometimes it's easy to think that they saw so much, that the disciples and those people who were on the earth while Jesus was, that they saw so much, and we don't see as much these days. But you know what? James 1:17 reminds us that every good and perfect gift comes from God above. So when you're walking down the street and someone smiles at you and it warms your heart, that's a little gift from God. When you help someone and you just love that you got to help someone, that's a gift from God. When something big happens in your life and there's a healing or a relief of stress or just peace in the midst of turmoil, those are gifts from God. And I've been doing a lot of work because of another study that I'm writing on what hell is going to look like. And it's not a topic that a lot of us like to talk about, but I think that is what hell is going to look like. It's going to be the complete absence of God. And I can't imagine. The world, this earth, has countless wonderful, big and medium and little and tiny, wonderful things that happen to us all day long. So, my question today is watching for God during the day, watching for what He's doing, saying thank you for those little things, and frankly saying thank you for the things that don't go so well. One of the worst moments in my life has been an immense, huge gift in my life. And so I bet you all could say the same. So look for Jesus in your day. Be thankful for Him. Look for the little things. Please comment on something either last week or this coming week that happened in your life that was a good, perfect gift. Even the little things. Sometimes the little things are so much fun. So comment them, please. So the next verse is Luke 10:37. And I'm excited to get into this a little bit. I'm going to read the verse that we studied. But as usual, I'm going to show you the workbook page. So it had us read Luke 10:25 through 37. And then the study verse was 10:37. So you can kind of see, and you have my notes all over there. So if you pause the video, you have all the notes of what I'm about to talk to you about. Here's the verse. The one who showed mercy to him, he said. Then Jesus told him, go and do the same. Let me give you a little lay of the land of what we're talking about. This is that wonderful old story about the man who was robbed and beaten, and everything, including his clothes, had been stolen from him. And he was laying hurt, very hurt, on the side of the road. There were two men who would have been considered very good men of the time who walked way around him. And then there was a Samaritan who walked right by him, picked him up, gave him something to wear, fed him, took care of him, got him medical attention. You know, that Samaritan didn't wait to find out what the man was like. He didn't wait to find out what his lifestyle looked like, if he was acting morally or not in his regular life. That man didn't ask him if he was even a believer. He just helped him. Just this morning, I was looking at a video on Facebook, and a friend of mine, Vivian, shout out to you, Vivian, shared a video on that was a dad. His name is Josh Shipp. And Josh Shipp told a story about his son. His son was just starting middle school, and in one day, his son called him between 8 and 10 times talking about how he was lonely at school. And his dad said, I didn't get it. There were 2,000 kids at his school. How could he be lonely? And it turned out that his son had no one to sit with at lunch, no one to do anything with, no one would talk to him, no one would be with him, no one would do anything with his son. And it broke his heart. You know, it's one thing to go through it as a child ourselves, right? And then it's another thing when someone you love is going through that type of thing. Anyway, it turned out to be Halloween, and his son was always very sad when he came home from school. And his dad said, what do you want to do tonight? Do you have someone to go trick-or-treating with? And his son said, no, I don't. And his son said, I think I'm just going to go upstairs to my room. And his dad, trying to fix it, which I've already told you in another video, I'm a big fixer. So I can totally see the dad doing this. I would have done the same. The dad said, well, your mom and I, we'll walk around the block with you. We'll go trick-or-treating with you. We'll even stand far back so no one will know that it's your parents going with you. And he said, nah, I'm okay. I'm going to go upstairs. And his dad just ached for him. And I understand that ache as a parent. I have a child, and that child this time will go nameless, but I have a child who dealt with that. And it broke my heart every time. I tried every single year to fix that, and I just couldn't. So anyway, with Josh's son, it was a little bit into Halloween night, and Josh heard the doorbell ring, so he took the bowl of candy to the door, assuming it was trick-or-treaters, and it was two boys his son's age, and they said, "Can your son come trick-or-treating with us?" And Josh said, "Yeah, of course. Yeah, let me go get him." And he went upstairs to his son's room, and his son got excited and threw on a costume and went out with the boys and had a ball. And Josh explained in this video how important it is to show up. That's what we need to do. We need to get prepared as Christians who desperately love our neighbors. We need to be prepared to show up. So this passage, you know what this is talking about? This is the Samaritan. And the story of the Samaritan, if you go a little bit before that, there's a man who says, I understand that we're supposed to love our Lord with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love our neighbor as ourselves. But what does it look like to love our neighbor? And he says, he goes through the Samaritan story, Jesus does, and then he says to the man who asked the question, which one of these showed love to their neighbor? And he said, well, the man who helped him, the one who showed mercy to him, he said. Then Jesus told him, go and do the same. So mercy is not giving someone something they do deserve. What do any of us deserve? Not a whole lot, but you know what? We, as Christians on this earth, one of our biggest commandments, besides loving Jesus himself, is to show our neighbors love. To show up, in the words of Josh Shipp. To show up. So who are you going to show up to today? Who are we supposed to show mercy to according to this verse? Everyone. So, who can you show mercy to, and who can you show up for this week? Maybe the special needs person that you work with, or if you're younger, that you go to school with. Maybe it's someone that looks different than you. And that's a shout out to Pastor Yvonne that always said that. Maybe it's a homeless person that you wave at, and it's just nice to, instead of diverting your eyes. Maybe it's someone you think differently than. You know, that man who helped the beat up naked man, he didn't ask him any questions. He just helped him, and he just showed up. So, this week, show up for someone. Be kind to someone who doesn't deserve your kindness. Be loving to someone who just needs you to be loving. I have a friend this week at this conference that my husband's at who's going through tremendous stress. And you know what? I can't fix her stress. I can't fix what she's stressed about and what she's scared about. But when I can see the stress get etched on her face, I can stand next to her and I can love on her and I can put my arm on her back and I can show Jesus to her. That's what we need to do. Don't get caught up in the big things that you need to do or the big signs that you need to show someone you love. Get caught up in the little things. So, last verse is Luke 10:42. But one thing is necessary. Mary has made the right choice, and it will not be taken away from her. Martha and Mary. How many times have you heard about Martha and Mary? I know that there's pastors who go through this a lot, but I know as women, we really do think a lot about Martha and Mary at times. And a lot of us women really identify with Martha, being a little bit too busy with things we need to do and keep up with in life. But I'm going to tell you, I have a friend named Gail who always tells me that she thinks maybe Martha gets a little bit of a bad rap. Perhaps, just maybe, Martha's talent, gifting, was hospitality. Maybe Jesus walked into her home and she was trying to show Jesus her love through the giftingness. Was that wrong? No. Our gifts are not wrong, except for when we put our gifts and our talents ahead of Jesus. That's where Martha went wrong. There's nothing that comes before Jesus. Nothing. You know, back to this workbook, there's a reason why I have you put the date up here. If you were to look in here, every once in a while, you'll see October 22nd, October 24th, October 25th, October 26th. What happened to October 23rd? You know what? Inevitably, what gets in the way of October 23rd? It was a Bible study I'm writing, or it's a church event I'm supposed to help with, or it's me trying to help my family. None of those things are wrong, except when I put them before the Lord. Friends, let's not do that this week. Let's not let anything get in the way of us and our Lord Jesus Christ. No matter if it's something that really is a good thing or not. The only thing that comes first in our life, that should come first in our life, is Jesus. Which, on that path, I was thinking through this kind of concept in my mind. And I wanted to remind us about sort of a hierarchy of our focus. Of course, God is our first focus, should be our first focus in our life. Right underneath that, your spouse. Beneath that is your children. Beneath that is your family. Beneath that is your work. Of course, you need to put food on the table, and you need to do what it takes to put food on the table. But the job should never come first. The job should never come before your children. Should never come before your spouse. For that matter, your children don't come before your spouse. So, of course, there's all sorts of reasons why we can have to mix up those. And if you have a question about that, comment it. Again, I will always answer your questions and your comments. So let's talk if you have a question on that. So friends, we have 34 subscribers. We're working toward 50. And I need your help. So it's pretty easy to get the link to this video and to send it to your friends. So please share it. Let's get to 50 and see where we can go on that. If you liked the video, like it for me. And please comment. Remember, I get really excited about those little red dots. So please comment and let me comment back to you. Even if it's a question and stuff, I'd like to be there with you. So, I have friends. I have that one friend that's here that's dealing with a major stress. I have friends at home that are dealing with major stresses. So whether it be natural disasters, problemed marriages, stressful social relationships, or just feeling lonely, wrap those up and put them at Jesus' feet, because He will take care of those. When we let go of our hand and let go of those things and give them to Jesus, we have an open hand that He's able to put huge blessings in. So until next week, Luke 11. Love you all.